I believe that friendship is the way that the world is healed, and that the way that people make it through with a deep and meaningful experience of life is to be partnered with each other. This is a Collings 001 ASB. 00 is the body shape, so it's a smaller size, it's a 12 fret, it's a slot headstock. The ASB stands for Adirondack top or red spruce top, so big, wide grain, beautiful piece of wood for the top of this guitar. The SB stands for sunburst, and so it is this beautiful kind of creamy, caramelly colored sunburst. This guitar belongs to a dear old friend, PW Gopal. He is an amazing songwriter. He's a good and godly man. He's been a friend and a mentor for a long time. He's actually the first person that ever told me to use an LR Baggs Element pickup. He actually sold me one. He had an extra one. I drove from Virginia down to Asheville, North Carolina, where he lived. And it was just, he's been such a gracious and kind friend through the years. And so much of what I love in guitars was influenced by him. So he is in a situation that I've been in before and I never want to be in again. Event in his family has now caused him to have to sell some guitars. And so this is a guitar that's being sold. And so it will be for sale on my website after this. I am selling it for PW. I am not making a dollar from this. I'm just doing what friends do. They take care of one another and they share one another's burdens. A few years ago, when we were still living in Louisiana, one of my kids got really sick and ended up having a febrile seizure, and it was terrifying. And it was, one of the most traumatic days of my life. Now, she's fine, and she's never had another one, and there have been no issues. But there was a terrible fallout, a financial fallout for us. It ended up costing us between $8,000 and $9,000, and that's with health insurance. If you live in the U.S., you know that the way that we pay for and receive medical care is just broken, and it's pretty embarrassing. And it often tries to break families, and it tries to break the finances and the well-being and the security of the most vulnerable. And so for us, it's little kids that have sicknesses that they didn't do anything. They just happen. And so now we have to do what we can to make those things right and to stand up with each other. So PW was telling me that he's like, well, I'm not touring as much because of COVID, and this was just my writing guitar, but because of all this medical stuff, I know in his heart of hearts he doesn't want to sell this guitar. But he is doing the good and honorable thing in taking care of his family. So back to this guitar. So this is a Collings 00. It's a 12 fret. If you know me, if you know this channel, you know that this kind of guitar has hijacked my affections, love, attention in my Waterloo. This guitar is very similar to my Waterloo, but is specifically, poignantly, profoundly different in a couple ways. And I will, while I have this guitar, I'll do a shootout with this and my Waterloo. So this guitar, like I said, 12 fret, has a pyramid bridge, such a cool and traditional nod to old Martin guitars from the, 1920s, 1930s. Has the OM style pickguard, which is the teardrop shape. So this also goes on an OM, but it's just more of that teardrop, more round on the backside. Very, very cool. Now this also has an ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, bone nut, bone saddle. This is a prestige, premium, just absolutely top tier acoustic guitar. It has Waverly nickel tuners on the headstock, has a really crispy square headstock and square slots, which that is if you are super nerdy and you really pay attention to Martins from the 1920s, 1930s. They were square slots, and then in the 60s they became round slots. Now they're kind of mixed moving forward, but for those that know, this is a really cool detail, the square slots. Now this also has the cool, what do you call that? The round ramps down. They're still square on the back of the headstock, but on the entryway, you can tell that this is just a very thoughtful and complicated way to build this headstock. Is just all of the sliders for quality, precision, detail. All of those are maxed out, and with those there are going to be some of the things. Like this guitar is particularly expensive. On the back of the headstock is an amazing, tasteful volute on the back of the headstock. Now this does two things. One, it adds structural integrity because we've removed a lot of material to make this headstock, and with that we have to make sure that we can add some mass and some material. So there are actually three functions for this. So the first one is the structural integrity. The second one is that it gives you a tactile marker for the sensation of your hand. So you know when you catch, you're gonna catch these shoulders and you'll catch that volute with the back of your hand. And with those, you'll feel, oh, I'm back in first position here. Now the third thing is, it is an aesthetic and a design. It's just a little, what do you call that? It's a little flourish, just a little beautiful thing that only the player would see most of the time, but it's just a tiny detail that takes this from being just a guitar to being a really special, significant heritage, heirloom kind of guitar. The neck joint, one of the details that I found that I love, and this is a tiny nuanced detail, but I just adore it. The heel cap on this and my Waterloo and on a lot of Collings is a compound radius. So it's both curved from the point to the body, but it's also curved side to side. It is just an immaculate detail that shows you that this guitar is just built to be absolutely the best that it can be. Now this guitar is typically aimed at a singer-songwriter sitting on the couch or sitting around playing, smaller body. This is an incredibly comfortable guitar. And it's also aimed at someone probably more in the folky world that would be singing out more. And one of the ways that this guitar is really well equipped to do that is that it does have a pickup. Now this has a K&K Pure Mini, and it is a mini plug, so you'd have to use an adapter coming out or use a different kind of cable from here out. And the reason that it is that way is so that this guitar can be completely restored to stock without any residual evidence that there was ever a pickup. So it's still the same 3/8 inch pin. Yeah, there it is. So there's the end of the K&K. That's actually really amazing that this can all just go back together so seamlessly. So you have a strap button, you still have the same original in-pin hole, and nothing's been enlarged, nothing's been modified. So this guitar could be exactly back to stock if you want it, but it also has a pickup and can be great for you. So this guitar, we're gonna be asking $4,750. Now, this video is gonna live on long after this guitar sells, and I guarantee in 3 years, I'm gonna get an email saying, I'd love to buy that guitar from PW, and it'll be long gone. So by the time you see this video, it might even be too late, and that's why I'm hesitant to even put a number in this, because that component of guitar videos doesn't age well. When you look back and somebody's selling a D28 and you look at one 15 years ago and you're like, you could have bought that for $1,500. Yeah, you know, in 2006 dollars. I believe that friendship is the way that the world is healed, and that the way that people make it through with a deep and meaningful experience of life is to be partnered with each other. So I'm very sorry that PW is in the situation that he's in. I have been there. And we made it through amazing kindness and warmth from friends, and so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna throw every skill I have at this. So I'm Jeremy, I'm the Guitar Hunter. I am so thankful that we are in this together. I'm thankful for your friendship and your kindness in this community of guitar hunters that we're building. We really are starting to fill the world with music and friendship. If you want to join in, there are a couple ways you can do that. The first one is you can go to patreon.com and you can become a patron. Number two, you can go to jeremytheguitarhunter.com and you can buy merch. You can buy the buyer's guide. There are many ways that you can support this channel and help me take care of my family and continue to make helpful content that helps you find amazing guitars that light your soul on fire, that become an heirloom that you get to pass down to your family. So thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy, I'm the Guitar Hunter. Go check out PW. He's an amazing singer, amazing songwriter. Download his records. I have listened to his music for 15 years and I just, yeah, it's amazing. So thanks for watching. I'm Jeremy. See you later. My beautiful life.